After a few years of successfully licensing beats online, I learned that one of the main keys to success has always been good data. If you don't know what I'm talking about, great, that's exactly what this video is about. And in this particular video, I'm focusing on email marketing. So owning your customer data, building and growing your email list so that you have better data, focusing your data so that it's good and solid, and then forming a strategy with email marketing at the center. So you have email marketing in the middle, and then you have all of these other types of marketing branching out from it. This stuff is really dense. That's why I'm bringing this video to you. This was originally broadcast live via Beatstars Live and Music Entrepreneur Club. And to put it into more concrete terms so you know exactly what you're in store for this video, if you've ever run a campaign, say on Instagram or Facebook, you might have been frustrated. At least the first couple times, I can almost guarantee you were frustrated with your results. Who were you targeting? You weren't quite sure. Why weren't you selling beats right away or ever through your campaign? Why didn't people seem to engage with your advertisement? And the answer to that is you didn't have good data. You might not have had data at all. You were probably guessing. So in this video, I'm going to show you some strategies that you can use to actually collect the right kind of data and then use it in really powerful ways. I think most people think of email marketing as simply just sending emails out to people selling a product. That's the wrong way to look at it. So that's why I say it's going to be a dense conversation, but I think it's really going to be helpful. And to those of you who are at the point where you're ready to start running campaigns, this is going to benefit you. And to those of you who want to get to that point also, this is going to be a helpful video. Now, again, just because I'm saying this is a major key, that doesn't mean it's a shortcut. So this isn't a magic trick. You don't just snap your fingers and you have thousands of email addresses from interested customers who love your beats. It takes a lot of time. In this video, I'm not focusing on costly advertising to get that data. I'm showing you how to do it for free, but you have to invest a lot of time into it. And then on top of it, and I feel like this is something that a lot of these videos ignore, and a lot of these people that are trying to sell you a method to sell more beats ignore, you have to have good beats. And you have to make them regularly and consistently. So if you're at that point and you're ready to take this journey with me, let's go. Perfect timing, the air conditioner just turned on, and that's probably messing up the audio. Let's be honest, you're not gonna find these videos anywhere else. Why? Because I make them. So it would really help me out if you subscribe. If you've already subscribed, what also really helps is if you like the video and leave a comment. It's hard in the era of clickbait videos on YouTube and negativity in the producer community, and I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. We're talking about data ownership. We're talking about contact with people. It's not the same as following somebody on social media. And this is something that Damon and I are always preaching, and thank God that all this stuff is easily activated in your Beatstars account, because Instagram, YouTube, all of these platforms that everybody uses, that producers use all the time to post beats on, are not giving you access to your customer data. Facebook doesn't do it. Instagram doesn't do it. YouTube doesn't do it. None of these platforms do it. Beatstars actually does do it. And I'll show you all of that in a second. But if you don't have access to your Instagram followers, what happens if you lose your account? What happens if Instagram dies out like MySpace? What happens if Instagram just shuts down or they sell and the platform changes? All those followers, all those thousands of followers that you work so hard to get are gone. You don't have their emails. You don't have their phone numbers. You can't contact them anymore because all of the data is owned by the platform. It's not owned by you. So email marketing is data ownership at its core. And because most social media platforms don't allow this, this is a step that you have to take. Getting good data. It's not about just grabbing random emails. That's not good. If I grab a bunch of random emails and try to sell them beats, they might be your grandmother. They might be another producer. So it's not effective. You're just wasting your time. So for me, the first step is getting good data. The next step is communicating. And then the step after that, it could be a lot. It could be retargeting, it could be exporting, importing, and I'll talk about all of that. So the new thing from Beatstars, I was so happy when this happened. I'm gonna share my screen. If we go to marketing integrations, I use MailChimp. You can use Aweber. Here's FanConnect, which you were talking about before. It's as easy as just connecting your accounts. You have to get some information from your email platforms, but it's really easy. What Beatstars did now is they're now tagging everyone who subscribes through Beatstars, which helps you organize your email list really, really well. So here I am in my MailChimp account, right? Here we have tags. So I have 9,000 people who recently opted into my email list, and it's tagged here, free download. 558 from a subscription form. That's when I was using my pop-up on Beatstar. So when people visited my pro page, a pop-up came up and said, put in your email address for a free beat, something like that. And this is how I gained these subscribers. And then 460 people who bought beats recently are categorized in my email list as sales. Now, and then also recently in the last 30 days, I've added, about 1,000 new contacts. 93% are from Beatstars. That's a lot. So this does work. You can do so much now, knowing that these 9,000 people came to your email list from a free download. Let me take a step back, because some of you might not even be signed up to one of these services. So the two services that Beatstars integrates with easily are MailChimp and Aweber. So if we compare the two, both of them have free options. So Aweber, and I think there are some benefits and drawbacks to each one of these. Aweber gives you a free account for up to 500 subscribers. MailChimp gives you a free account for up to, I believe, 2,000. So I think on the surface, it looks like MailChimp gives you more for a free account. But if you do decide that, once it's at the point where you're paying, because it's not cheap. Once you're at the point where you're paying because you have a bunch of subscribers, you can always export your data, all your email addresses, from MailChimp and sign up to another account if you want to switch over to Aweber, or if you decide you don't like Aweber and you want to switch to MailChimp, you can always do that. The other thing about MailChimp too is, and I don't use Aweber, so I couldn't tell you, but they do allow landing pages, even with the free account, and shoppable landing pages. So if you wanted to mess with funnel ads, you can do that with a landing page. We can talk more about funnels, because I think that's kind of a misunderstood concept. You can make funnels with pretty much anything, including Beatstars. It just depends what kind of funnel you want to create. My opinion on the free downloads is that, well, if you go to my page, you'll notice that I have enabled free downloads for pretty much every single beat that I upload, which I would say is a big reason I have 9,000 subscribers via the free download option, because they're giving me an email address in exchange for that. Why would I give people the free download on all beats? Well, for me, it's because if somebody is thinking about buying a beat, they probably want to download it to their phone, or they want to download it to their computer so they can listen to it, maybe record a rough draft to it. And once they do that, they're more likely to fall in love with the song and want to get the beat. So I do think there's a benefit to free download options. For my beats, just uploaded one actually, because I have MailChimp integrated already. I opt for the capture email. I don't do the social follow, because like I said, you don't own those data from Instagram or from SoundCloud or from YouTube. It'd be nice, I could probably get my subscribers up, and I could see why someone would want more Beatstars follows, but like Twitter, I can't export those data, and I'll show you why that's important. I can with email, and Beatstars makes that really easy. So here's something that you can start doing right now, and this kind of goes back to the funnel concept. So you can create an automation, even if you're using a free version of MailChimp or Aweber. You can create an automation specifically for any one of these categories. So for me, right away, I did this for sales. So if I go to campaigns, automations, you'll see that I have a thank you email that I send to people when they buy a beat. You can create a thank you email for people when they download a free beat. The purpose of this is to communicate with people, start a conversation, show people that you're available, show people that you're responsive, show people that you appreciate them. Because when I thank people for buying a beat, one, it shows that I appreciate them. Two, I'm giving them an additional discount if they want to come back and get more beats, and I'm letting them know about new beats that I upload about twice a month. I don't try to flood people's inboxes. I probably should do 3 or 4 times a month, if I'm being honest. I need to experiment more to see what works for me. But if people buy beats and you never follow up with them, you might never get another sale from them. So being in contact with your either your free downloads or your buyers, that's something I really recommend. KSAN, yeah, the free download has my tags in it, but people record to them. I mean, people will demo them. Someone said, wish you could do social and email capture. Yeah. Anyone could just unfollow you though, right? But you keep their email address. Yeah, that's why the email is powerful. And people can unsubscribe too. Here's the thing about emails. So we'll go back to my MailChimp and you'll see that it says I have damn near 90,000 contacts, and this is how many I've gotten, but I currently only have around a little under 10,000 subscribers on my main list. I have other lists, but the reason for that is because MailChimp charges you based on how many subscribers you have. So if I have 90,000 contacts, I'm paying a hell of a lot, and not all of those contacts are active, and not all of them are even opening my emails. So periodically, probably if you're watching this, you're not at this point yet, so I'm not going to waste your time talking about this in detail, but what I will do periodically is like every maybe 5 or 6 campaigns, I'll just purge my list and see who hasn't opened any of the last 5 emails. Because if you haven't opened 5 straight emails from me, I shouldn't be paying for you to be on my list, and you probably shouldn't be on my list, so I'm just going to unsubscribe you. So I unsubscribe like a couple thousand people at once, and then MailChimp cuts my price down, and then my ratio's up. So anyway, what are we going to talk about? So yeah, enabling a free download for an email. I'm not telling you have to do that. I'm not telling you have to do any of this stuff, but these are options that you can try. So there's no harm in trying something and seeing how it works. If it works, cool. So once you get these people, how do you reach them? As I said, I created the email automation, which you can do to target a tag. So email subscribers when they're tagged. So I would email, people who are tagged as a free download differently than I would email people who have bought a beat. So I would create an automation for the free download, maybe saying, hey, I upload 5 new beats every week. Feel free to reach out to me for any questions. Enjoy your free download. Hope you know that those are free for nonprofit use. Something like that to start a conversation, because these conversations are powerful. They take time. Like when I send out an email, and I'll talk about what I do with my emails, I might spend the whole afternoon on this. Matter of fact, let me just jump to that right now. So the worst thing you could do is the worst thing you could do is never sign up for any of these integrations and platforms and just not use that feature of Beatstars. It's free, up to 2,000 emails, depending on the platform you use. That's with MailChimp. So the worst thing you could do is just ignore that. But I think another one of the worst things you could do is just stack email addresses and never use them. And some people do that. You might sit there and just get 2,000 subscribers and never follow up with any of them. And then a year later, oh shit, I forgot about all these subscribers. Let me send them an email. It's probably too late. Some of those emails are defunct. When you get it, people don't know, they don't remember you. They're going to unsubscribe. It's just a mess. So find some way to start the conversation with them right away. That's what I would recommend. But what should you send, right? And how should you send it? So I had a really eye-opening experience. The very first time I went to A3C, I wasn't even really selling beats on Beatstars at that point. But Abe put me in a position, because I was doing producer interviews, so he gave me the job to moderate these conversations with people who were actually selling beats. People like Beat Demons, people like Dylan Graham, I should say. And I remember talking to Dylan on the panel, and I asked about what their most powerful marketing tool was. For him, it was email marketing. And I said, oh, interesting. Because I never would have thought that, you know, in like 2018, I think that was the year, maybe it was 2017, whatever, that's how people are still selling stuff over email. Yeah, well, that was very naive of me to think that they weren't. And I asked him what his technique was. And exactly what Bufo's saying right now is what Dylan Graham told me. He said sometimes he will just send an email with the subject line, yo, what's up? And I was like, nah, no way. Because I used to, when I would send out an email, I would spend an hour just on the format, making it look professional, making it look super, you know, like a Target ad or something. And I wasn't doing very well with the emails. He said he just made it seem like it was a regular conversation. I'll tell you why that works. Two reasons why it works. One reason why it works is because people don't want to, Dylan Graham, the producer Dylan Graham, not Dylan CEO. The one reason why people don't respond well to that is because the salesman attitude is just annoying. People don't always want to be sold to. So if you see someone acting like a salesman, what's your response? You want to get the hell away from them. You don't want to run up on them and have a conversation. So make yourself approachable. Start the conversation. I forget, we just had this conversation, I swear, recently about the long game, about how starting conversations with people, like you might have a conversation with somebody today, and then 8 months from now, they come back and buy a beat. But in those 8 months, they don't do anything. They don't buy anything, nothing. And if that conversation sticks with them, that's why they're coming back. A lot of producers make the mistake of trying to close the sale. They'll send out an email, buy my beats right now. I'm doing a sale right now, buy my beats. $50 a beat, buy my beats. It might work for some people, but a lot of people need convincing. So having these regular conversations with people shows consistency, shows a level of communication. It makes you approachable. And then if people are responding to the emails, if you're keeping them conversational, if you're asking people questions, that's key. Ask people questions, providing value, actually replying to them. That's going to make someone more comfortable spending their money with you. Because if you're just unapproachable and all about the sales, what makes them think that once you close that sale that you're going to continue helping them if they have a problem? So anyway, I keep it conversational. The other reason why you might want to avoid sending these emails that are super salesy is because if they're super salesy and full of salesy language and salesy images and not just kind of a plainer conversational format, then certain email providers such as Gmail might they might categorize them as spam or as promotions, and then way fewer people see them. So don't trigger a spam filter. What's something that a lot of spam emails have in common? Some kind of sales angle, some kind of solicitation. So avoid that if you can. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. The chat is lively today. Do you ever send attachments in your emails? I don't. The reason for that is some people use different platform or email platforms, and some people have file limits, and I don't know whether or not sending in attachments will trigger some kind of spam filter or anything. I just try to stay below the radar. So there are a lot of best practices. My concern here is if we talk all about the potential pitfalls, it's just going to be too much, and it's going to intimidate people and keep them away from doing this. What I want everybody to do is just go out and experiment for themselves to see what works best. But the only way that you can tell what works best is if you actually do these things. So that's my advice. Just go out and do these things. Try these things. What should I say in my first email? Well, I think it depends on who you're emailing. Are you emailing people who purchased a beat? Are you emailing people who downloaded a beat for free? Are you emailing people who signed up to your pop-up? But my suggestion is be conversational. Send an email that's worth responding to. What kind of email would you respond to? What kind of questions would someone have to ask you for you to respond? Any thoughts on beat pricing in general and how that might help or hinder you to build subscribers? Well, we're talking about giving value in exchange for someone to subscribe. If they're buying your beat, they're already a customer. You have their information. Matter of fact, that's a good transition, because what we can do is, if we go to sales on Beatstars, what I can do is go to this. I could download data, or I can go to where is it at? Customers. Actually, let me click out of here because it's going to show my customers' emails. But if I were to click on that, I can download customer emails as a CSV file. So mark this down. This is really important. I can download all of my customer emails straight from Beatstars. This is just a feature that they have. You can't do this on social media. You can't do this on Instagram. You can't do this on YouTube, but you can do it on Beatstars. So now you have a CSV file, which is an Excel document, cascading something or other. I forget what CSV stands for, but you have that contact list, and that's there. What else can you do? Well, in MailChimp, you can do the exact same thing that you can do in Beatstars. Let me show you. So here, if I'm in Beatstars and if I'm in MailChimp and I click on audience, I can view contacts. Oh, please don't show my, damn it, man. It's gonna show my contacts here. But there was a button there that said export audiences. And I can export audiences there, and what I will end up with is a CSV file once again. So now I have these two CSV files. There's gonna be duplicate data, right? Because all of your Beatstars sales emails are going to your MailChimp as well, right? So you really only have to export from one or the other. This is something that people who haven't ever done a email platform integration into their Beatstars Pro page can really benefit from, because you don't have these data here, but you have them in your Beatstars customers tab. So don't be too hard on yourselves if you haven't been collecting emails, because you have actually been collecting emails. Beatstars has been doing it for you. So this is the key. All right, this is where things get really advanced. So here, this is an export that I made from Beatstars. Beatstars buyers. I did this back in May. It's a CSV file. Why is that important? What can I do with it? I think the average person who doesn't know how advanced and how deep this marketing world actually goes, we'll just say, well, I'm just gonna email all the people on the list and tell them to buy more beats. No, this is what you do. And this will open up everything for you. This is why this separates successful marketing campaigns from total waste of your money. Business Manager. Facebook Business Manager. I'm always running ads here, specifically on Instagram. But if I go to my Business Manager tab and click on Audiences, watch this. Please pay attention to this. Create audience. I can create an audience based on a customer list. Let me go back. When I hover over customer list, look in the lower right hand corner where it says what I need. It needs a CSV file. I have a CSV file because I just exported it from Beatstars. So when I click customer list and I go to next, now I just drop my CSV file in here, and then I hit next, and and I name my audience. So I would name it something like, let me move my damn mic, hold on. Beatstars customers 2020. So I know these are people who actually bought beats, right? Let me make sure that I'm still, okay, cool, I'm sharing my screen. Because this is super important. And I've done that already. I've created audiences here. So beat buyers up to December 2019, for example, right? So let's say that I have this list, right? I can market my Facebook ads back to those same people if they're using Instagram or Facebook. And that's powerful in and of itself, because now we're not running our ads to just random people. We're not guessing at who our targets are. We're not guessing at who our audiences are. That's why a lot of people get frustrated with running these ads. The problem is you need these data in order to do what I'm about to show you. So collecting these email addresses I can't emphasize how important that is. It's so important, because watch what I can do. So I've already created an audience of beat buyers. This is just an old audience. Now I create a lookalike audience. Just read the description here. Reach new people who are similar to audience you already care about. So what I'm doing here, this is what Facebook, and it's scary. We're talking about data collection and TikTok and all these. This is what Facebook does. So here you are using it to your benefit. What Facebook will do is take a list of your customers who have already bought beats, analyze who your customers already are, and find up to 1 million other people who are just like them. Let that sink in. So if I click lookalike audience, I have to find a source. So my source would be, beat buyers up to December 2019. Or I am. This is an old list because I'm using the wrong account, but that's what I can do. So I can select what country I want to target. I'm going to target the United States, and I could target Western Europe or Germany or whatever also. And it's going to find, look at that, up to 2.4 million people who are just like the people that already bought my beats. So this is no longer me guessing. This is Facebook doing all the hard work for me. The hard work that I did was just getting people to sign up to my email list. So do you see how important this is? Do you see how important getting those data from your customers and from your subscribers and from the free beat downloads really is? It's everything. So if you haven't started doing that now, but you're a Beatstars user, hey, you're kind of safe because Beatstars has been saving your customer data. But get on this stuff. Don't let this pass you by, because as you can see, if you're starting from zero, running one of these marketing campaigns. And granted, you need to have a fair amount of email addresses for this to work. I think, let me search how many. How many emails do I need? So you need at least 1,000. So work towards getting 1,000. SoundCloud doesn't collect data for us. Hell no, it collects. They collect data from themselves. Okay. Can one set up a free download of the client's choice in exchange for a MailChimp email list sign up? I don't. Well, yeah. I'm sure there's a way. I think the easiest way would just be to enable free downloads. Or if we don't want to get too technical, what you could do is this is actually a good idea. It's going to get overwhelming if you have thousands of people doing this to you every week. But what you could do is in your MailChimp or on your Beatstars pop-up, say, drop your email address in exchange for a free beat of your choice. Then automate the response to say, hey, thanks for signing up. Which beat did you want? I'll send you the MP3. And so that part's automated. All you have to do is send them the MP3 once they reply with the name of the beat that they want. That's not a bad idea, actually. It's a lot of work, but if you're at the point where you're not getting any signups, or you're maybe getting like 10 to 30 signups a week, that's manageable to send 20 or 30 MP3s out every week. After you get to that point, you might want to consider maybe not doing that anymore, but because it's just going to be too much for you. But that's a great way to start a conversation, because not only are you getting the person to opt in, but you're starting a conversation with them and you're providing value, because most people aren't doing that. This is a great idea. Thanks for bringing that up, Bufo. You are now redeemed for all the sex talk. All right, it's 3. Do we have any last questions?